I'm going to tell you now, show you now the gap analysis document. This is a gap analysis document. Okay. Let's go to the main sections again. Just a heading and everything. Wherever you go, there'll be a place to put the heading and everything. Don't worry about that. From a logical standpoint, how these are, theta, veda, how these are inclined. Don't worry about that thing. Whatever is there in your template, you can do that too. Okay. Requirement number, requirement title. You should give it a formal title. Then status, whether the requirement is ready, things like that. Then the source, who gave you this requirement. Okay, who gave you this? Jenny Temper, she gave you the requirement. Business reason behind the requirement. When you're having the discussions, they'll give a reason why they need this. What is their pain point because of which you want this requirement, right? You have to enter this here. Okay, the actual requirement, the full description of the requirement, for example, and this will be copied directly from your BRD. I'm writing one requirement here. Okay, you see how the format has not come out right. I will copy the format now, format using the format painter. Do you guys knew this thing, format painter, use of format painter
in Word,
in everything, in all Microsoft Office thing? So this will help you in copying the format of anything. Let's say you like this format, let's say you want this format, copy the format and put it here. It will become like this. Did you know this? Most powerful thing that you probably will use, copying and this format painter. They're not controls. Okay, so numbering, the way everybody's doing the numbering, do the numbering. You cannot go too wrong there. Title, for example, this one is a new literature request. Okay, this is Excel. Some of the basic Excel tricks you should know, how to increase the weights and all that stuff. So same requirement has come here.
okay,
Functional area. Okay, you will know this thing in the project.
okay.
So this is some kind of like what you call it, content. Content will come from there in the project. You don't need to worry. Business reason.
All the requests cannot be tracked.
You might know the business reason. If you don't worry too much. Whosoever gave you the requirement, not. So anyway, so whatever whosoever gave you. So you know now how to fill the business section. This detailed description, same thing from here will go here. Okay. Again, format painter. Okay. Now you see this thing is not big. Just a little Excel trick. You make it big, and if you double click on this, it will become biggest. Whatever you do like this, then it will get readjusted. Something you learn, right? Business priority, they will set high. Typically high, medium, low. I remember one of my one of my projects, program manager, project manager, me, everybody was thinking whether we should have high, medium, low, or whether we should have high, medium, medium, low, and low. So it depends on the tracking methodology. It helps them. You're a smart guy. Let's say you are making your grocery list. Okay, in your grocery list there are certain things which have to come right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
There are certain things which can wait. Then there are certain things which can wait for 1 month.
Okay.
So you will come out with this thing yourself. High, medium, low makes more sense. Or maybe now, week, month.
yeah.
Okay. But let's say there are some things which basically can wait a year. Then you will come out with year, or you will put month in front of it. Or there are certain things which are basically have to be done in 3 days. Then you might come out with a new value, high,
Medium high.
and high, medium. Or you might say ऐसा करते हैं इसको भी high में डाल देते हैं. Right. So this methodology is really like that. Is developed by you and the project manager and everybody, and you can change it. It basically, you can be creative here. But once it is set, you're supposed to use that. So in the first few days of the project, it may not be set. So they might ask you for your input. What do you think? High, medium, low will do, or you think high, medium, high?
High, medium.
Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always think 5 levels should be there. This is my own thing. I always prefer 5 levels for some reason. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being high, 5 being low. 2, 3, 4, 5, everything intermediate.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Function requirement. Whatever is a function requirement right in front of it. Function requirement description. The detailed description, the vanilla, how it works in vanilla. The solution idea, the solution approach will go here. This is. So you can see the various sections, gap analysis. Here the gap will be written. For example, let's say between vanilla and this thing, there's a gap. So there are 7 gap levels. Okay. I'm just making an Excel, this thing also, table also, just see how I'm making it. I typically like to leave, one column like this blank and one row blank. And I typically make them really small, like this. It's just my style. Okay. Then serial number, right? Gap level. See what I'm doing. Just you should be able to do these things also. Make this thing like this. Remember this thing. This bordering many of my consultants did not know. So I'm just teaching you this. See this box? Yeah. Whatever, let's say this line, you choose a line, it will now come on towards the outsides, just the outside. Whatever I choose now will come in the middle. Okay. I typically don't do all this this is the best way, but because it becomes difficult to manage later on, if you add a new line and all, it becomes unmanageable. I simply just go for this particular line everywhere. Okay. That's it. Now you make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Other thing is I will show you something. Let's say you don't want to write all this. Let's say there are hundreds of things. You just put like this and drag.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was in the 90s I used to do this. If it is a sequence order, just it will be doing. For example, if 10 is there, it will go to 20, 30, 40.
Yeah, you can, this is another. So see how the border changed, and I have to add a new border. So that's why I don't like that bordering structure.
Okay.
Gap level 1, 2. Okay. Typically, I give 7 levels. Okay. One level gap levels. This is serial number. Is basically typically it could be different, right? So gap description. Okay. 1 means AOB. No gap.
No gap.
No gap.
What does it stand for?
Or very basic addition like activity. Okay. No. AOB. Out of the box.
Out of the box. Right?
Or vanilla. This thing, admin setup. Any gap which is just an admin setup. For example, activity plan setup or email template setup. Typically, you put for every item, wherever, for every item you'll be writing, right? For every requirement, you'll be writing the gap level here. Okay. So, in that case, I would say 1 day for setup. OOB, 0. Just till the 0.5 for analysis. Still, there is time involved. Okay. Typical LOE. I'm teaching you how to border this thing also. This is your Excel class also now. Okay. Yep. Okay, you see what I did, right? So admin setup, okay. Basic config, complex config, basic, okay. Typical LOV, basic config, 2 day, complex config, 5 day, 1 person day.
Why is
so
it
40 hours. These are typical config. Customization or script.
How much is it? 4. 10 days.
अरे बड़ा टाइम मिलता है
इसमें 72
1 person को मिलता है ना 15 day 15
what is our 1 day admission setup?
You write it in hours. That's better. Let's say 4 hours. Okay. Admin setup 8 hours. I would say 2 days.
Okay.
16 hours. ऐसे ही चलता है.
Basic.
24 hours.
Okay.
Complex config 40 hours.
40 hours.
Let's make it 50. Customization of script 10 days
uh,
बोला तो
to
80
40
hours हो
hours.
गया तो 80 hours.
80 hours.
Complex workflow मैंने 15 day बोला है तो 15 into 8 120 hours for one person.
Integration batch or real time workflows.
150 hours.
That's good.
This is a typical LOE. Okay, so you learned this also, the rules of thumb. You know, if you have to add a new field or something in an applet, basic config. So 3 days. If you have to add make a full applet or something, make a complex join, make a complex write or something, any kind of complex configuration, 5 days, 50 hours. Any kind of full applet banana time to lagena. He has to take physical time, and he has to test it also. He has to unit test it also. He has to make sure it is working properly. All the validation rules are set up properly. For customization or script, any kind of wherever his script
But Gaurav, there is no standard, right?
standard भी नहीं है.
Standard भी नहीं है.
मैं आपको बताता हूँ, in one project I did like this. You know, my manager said this is just way too low. He multiplied everything by 2.
So why I'm saying
This is the way they will do. So what can you do? I mean, you have to just go by what is everybody doing. I've given you a straw man. At least now you have seen something. Okay. One gap. Just say. I would typically like to write the solution approach first.
gap level.
Yeah, hi, this is solution idea, right? Use OOB screen. There is an OOB out of the box screen and view are available for literature fulfillment. View, and they can create the LR literature request there, but new fields need to be added. Right? This is the solution, right?
Okay.
So you'll be writing all those things. Function requirement priority, whatever is the priority, that depends on the project. I would give it 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you should need to write here in the new, insert a new sheet, write priority definition. Okay, everything you can enter here. New gap, no new BO or BC, but new fields need to be added.
Okay.
All around 10 fields. Okay. Gap level is a complex configuration.
Okay.
Make it a gap level complex config 3. Right. Gap that automatically means that it's going to take 50 hours or 60 hours, something like that. Gap description, write all the fields. Right. जो भी आपको BR में थे ना, your BR requirement document must be having your FDD, you know, they must be having some elements there, right? Everything there that have to make these fields here, right? So some people say we'll do it after development, then we know. This is to prepare for the development, so that we know how much money we need for development. So if, right? So this is before development, much before development. Okay. So always remember, it's going to include analysis as well as development as well as testing time.
Okay.
Okay, especially analysis and development, maybe not testing, but definitely analysis and this thing. Okay, comments, any comment, functional design doc. Now the design, you can just, other thing is you can always send a link, put the link here, link to the FDD. That this thing is discussed in the FDD. Okay, and similarly, important thing is if you notice it has all the FDD things, FDD number, all the things, then the TDD number. Then till this point, till this status thing, it is responsible to BA to fill it out.
Till here,
after this,
say, after this one.
Yeah, after TDD and all, that is the responsible developer. Okay, so this is now evolving into a big traceability matrix. I'm still, you know, I would say, you know, your project may not use this complex or traceability matrix, but you will be definitely using till this point, till status. Okay, this testing can also be tracked using this thing, that whether this requirement is getting tested or not.
So you mean to say this area is covered by the BA as well?
No, tester can add this thing.
He can add
we have made the columns and tester can add it to the same thing, right? Typically, they'll be using something called a SharePoint, right? Where BA will check in the document, then they can check out and fill their ideas, and then BA can check in, check out, whatever. You know, everybody can use it. Okay, yeah. So that way, it's not that there will be multiple copies of the same document.
Everyone has access to
I have a basic straw man of how to prepare a gap analysis document. Gap is the English word gap, 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 difference. So gap analysis, it's called as gap analysis because this is a gap between vanilla and Siebel.
Siebel.
If it is a new implementation, if it's an enhancement, it's a gap between existing system and the future system that you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
If it is an upgrade project, you won't be preparing this typically because upgrade projects are not having functionality. They are having it's a technical project.
Yep.
Sometimes they have BS for that, but that's for different purpose. Don't worry. If you're going to an upgrade project, your life will be very tough.
What in case of as a BA analyst, you just present the requirement to the
Yeah. For change request, there is a thing called as change request procedure. We'll be following that. I will go through a DCR, document change request or change request document or change request template or a change request, full document with you. It will be showing all the change requests. Okay. I'm showing you all the documents, right? This is the gap analysis.